Hey friends, it's KT. In my previous video, we talked about variations on the venerable Nerf Elite Dart. It's a terrible dart. It's not venerable at all. The short take on that was buy Dart Zone ammo. But currently there's a number of different ammo types in circulation, and they're all worth talking about. So let's kind of go through what the options are for a lot of these. Now, most of these ammo types are less common. Some of them are already kind of on their way out, but there are still blasters on the shelves that fire these. And in many cases, they're easy to lose or easy to break. Some of them are kind of fragile. But also, some of them don't have alternatives currently from buying official Nerf ammo. But some of them also have a variety of alternatives, so let's just get into it. First, let's talk about the Ultra Dart. The Ultra Dart has had a pretty negative reception. This is the original Nerf Ultra Dart. It doesn't fly great. They're very expensive. They're actually quite easy to break because they're made of a material that's more like a styrofoam than the normal flexible foam. This Ultra Dart is a gold Ultra Dart, which is exclusive to the Nerf Ultra Ferro. It only comes with that blaster, so if you buy one of those, you get 10 of these darts, and that's it. They are easier to find, so they're slightly better than the typical Nerf Ultra Dart, but they're so rare that it's basically pointless. Moving on up, this is the Nerf Ultrasonic Screamer Dart. These came with a couple blasters, but you can buy them in 10 packs. And they make a cool whistling noise in the air, but otherwise they're functionally identical to the original Nerf Ultra Dart, now without an orange tip and even harder to find on the ground. But finally, they released the Nerf Ultra Accustrike Dart. So similar to the Elite's Accustrike Dart with the flat top, these fly more accurately. They seem to get better performance in a lot of blasters. They work especially well in spring-powered Ultra blasters. There's just no reason to buy any Ultra Dart other than this, unless you want the screaming sound, which is pretty cool. Darts that whistle in the air are cool. There is one source for knockoff Ultra Darts, but from what I've heard, their quality is comparable, if not worse, to the original Ultra Darts, and they cost the same amount. When it comes to Ultra Darts, there's really no reason to buy anything but the Ultra Accustrikes now. It's just a better dart. It's lighter colored with a red tip, easier to find on the ground. Now, I don't generally recommend buying Ultra Blasters at all unless you just really want a specific one. Some of them are good for modding and all these other things, but in terms of actually buying an Ultra Blaster to shoot Ultra Darts, I would usually just say don't do it. The darts, even these darts, still cost about 25 cents a dart. It gets pretty expensive when you start to lose them outside a lot. However, if you have an Ultra Blaster and you are trying to feed it, or you're buying an Ultra Blaster, these are the darts to get. Ultra Accustrikes. Skip everything else. Now moving on to a slightly older dart type. This is the Nerf Mega Dart. It is similar to an Elite Dart in its proportions, but then it is significantly larger. These are fun because they whistle through the air. A lot of people run games where these can do things like pierce shields or are worth extra points. They're also just big and fun to shoot. There's quite a few Mega Blasters out there. Currently, most of the blasters being produced that actually shoot Mega Darts are Fortnite blasters, which come with these orange and purple variant of the Mega Dart. It's the exact same dart in different colors. There have also been a couple other color variants that have popped up here and there, but most of them are pretty rare. But just like Elites and Ultra, they did eventually come out with a Mega Accustrike Dart. And the Mega Accustrike Darts, although they don't whistle in the air, they're just a better dart. They fly straighter, they work more consistently. Unfortunately, they stopped producing these, and they're very difficult to get. Conveniently, this exists. This is a third-party Mega Dart sold by NFStrike.com. It uses the same head pattern as the Elite Accustrike Dart. They're typically referred to as Accufakes. This is the best Mega Dart available on the market right now. That being said, NFStrike has claimed that they're getting out of the dart selling business, so if you're curious about these, I recommend you go pick some up right away. Ultimately, I think that Nerf is phasing this ammo type out in favor of this is a MegaXL Dart. These darts are gigantic. You can nest a Mega Dart inside them and nest an Elite Dart inside that, to give you a sense of the proportion of this dart relative to its smaller cousins. This might be the most fun dart on the market right now. These things are hilariously large, they whistle loudly, and they just feel so satisfying to shoot through the air. I got to take a couple blasters that fire these to a game recently, and it's just so satisfying to actually get a hit with one. And honestly, it's satisfying to miss with one too. They're just hilarious when they fly. Now currently there is no third-party option for MegaXL. It's a very new ammo type. We may see something like that happen, but we're not there yet. Unfortunately, people have started to notice that there are a few different manufacturing variants of the MegaXL Dart, and they don't have a consistent outside diameter. When you have a dart, you're mostly concerned with the inside diameter if the dart is going to go on a post and shoot off of the post, and the outside diameter if it's going to sit inside of a barrel and shoot out of the barrel. Now, if you look at most of the official MegaXL blasters that are being sold, they rely on that outside diameter in order to shoot the dart well. Well, I've had some darts come out of the package that have a bad outside diameter that will not shoot out of my double crusher. So, something to be wary of. If you buy a package from one source, you may get some darts that don't work well in your blaster, but if you buy them from another source, they may work better. Hopefully this is something that Hasbro will be fixing over time. Now we get to rockets. This is frequently referred to as the Demolisher rocket because it originally came with a blaster called the Demolisher, which was essentially a Strife style that also had a HAMP rocket launcher on the bottom, which means that when you pull in on a pump, you simply push air through to launch the rocket. Thankfully, these rockets came in orange. They're very easy to retrieve, which is great because even from release, these were very expensive to buy. Typically, you would buy a 3-pack for $15 to $20. Now, this version of the rocket is completely retired. They have not, as far as I know, been produced in quite a while. So if you have a blaster that fires these, you're out of luck getting these original orange rockets. Similar to the Mega Dart, these are now only really produced for Fortnite blasters, and the Fortnite version comes in a new color scheme, purple and orange. There have been claims that the new purple and orange version doesn't fly as well as the original orange ones. There hasn't really been a good, solid comparison of the two that's been consistent. My experience with them has been inconsistent. Sometimes there are issues with the fins not being angled correctly that could cause them not to spin properly, but all told, the issue with the rockets is that they are a fragile, difficult to deal with ammo type that doesn't fly super well, and there's a reason that Nerf seems to be retiring them in favor of the MegaXL Dart, which serves a similar purpose, being a massively oversized ammo type. In fact, the rocket was never really supported by that many blasters. Nerf made the Demolisher itself, and then a couple of attachments that could go on other blasters to HAMP fire them. Then they came out with the Fortnite RL, which is actually probably the best original way to launch a Demolisher rocket. And then they followed that up with the other Fortnite rocket launcher. I can't even remember what it's called. It's bad though. It's like a rotating drum thing. I've seen some people do cool mods on them, but look, I'm putting a picture of it on the screen. Cool. Hilariously, that product is now the only way to get these rockets consistently. You can buy them way overpriced in the package online, but if you buy that rocket launcher, you get 6 of these. And that's the most consistent way to find them. But realistically, even if you want these rockets, it's not really worth it. There are also quite a few knockoff versions of these rockets, partly because Nerf has stopped supporting them. They come in varying qualities. They frequently have issues with the fins. The fins tend to fall off easily if they're not glued on well. I don't have any of those ammo types, but there's a really great video by Captain Xavier, which I'm going to link in the description, where he bought every version of these that he could on Amazon and then did reasonably scientific comparisons on all of them. So that's definitely worth watching if you're interested in this ammo type. But as I said, it seems like Nerf is phasing it out, and so if you're buying off-the-shelf blasters, this probably isn't going to be relevant to you. And I don't really recommend buying the Fortnite blasters that currently exist that shoot them. And now we get to ball-shaped ammo. The Nerf Rival High Impact round came out with the first Nerf Rival blasters and was intended as a more competitive ammo type for older, more advanced players. And it's been extremely popular, partly because instead of having to be loaded in magazines, which there are Rival magazines, it can also be loaded into hoppers or stuffed into internal magazines very easily because of its ball shape and the fact that it'll always roll down into the loading mechanism. Nerf has made these in a bazillion colors over time. They've made ones that are dual colored. This one right here is from the Nerf Rival Edge series. It's a little bit more of a neon color. They've made them primarily in yellow, and yellow is a decent color for finding them in the grass, but orange would certainly be better. And lo and behold, Dart Zone has begun making rival-compatible blasters, and their default color for their ammo is in fact orange. For a while now, Xshot has also made rival-compatible blasters that they call their Chaos series. The rounds that they produce are by default red. Red and orange are great colors to find in the grass. You can tell that they have textural differences on their surfaces, but in terms of actually using them in a blaster, that has very little effect on anything as far as anyone can tell. What does matter is the consistency of the material and how squishy the balls are. Nerf's ammo is typically the most consistent, but you're gonna pay for that consistency. Nerf's ammo is pretty expensive and has only become a little bit more expensive as Nerf seems to be phasing out this as an ammo type entirely. They haven't announced any new rival blasters since the Curve Shot series. There have been some leaks suggesting that new ones are coming out, but we haven't seen anything for that yet. Luckily, Dart Zone and Xshot are both making good rounds as well. Their rounds are quite consistent and work just about as well as the Nerf rounds do. So in general, I wouldn't be afraid to buy these in lieu of Nerf rounds if you want to save a few dollars. This is where things get tricky with rival rounds. Because they're basically just a ball shape, they're much easier to copy than a lot of the other ammo types, especially the rocket, where you have to glue 3 fins on and attach a head and get the internal dimensions correct. This is just a foam ball with dimpling on the surface. So a number of companies have taken a stab at producing their own rival ammo. Now again, I'm going to refer you to a video by Captain Xavier, who last year ordered every high impact round he could find on Amazon and test compared all of them in various blasters for about the most scientific comparison that you can come up with for these ammo. Now, of course, the available ammo has changed since then, and a couple other unusual things have happened. There's also a brand called Headshot, which has been one of the favorite ammo types of the hobby, of hobbyists for a while. But a number of people, including myself, have been noticing something if you're not careful about where you order your Headshot ammo from. I recently ordered a few different colors of Headshot ammo off of Amazon and was kind of surprised by the results. This is a pink Headshot ball that I purchased in a large quantity on Amazon. You can compare its squishiness to the Nerf ammo. It's similar. It's actually maybe a little more squishy, but it's very similar. And these definitely perform decently in all of my rival blasters. However, here's a green Headshot round. I'm applying the same amount of force to this in an attempt to squeeze it, and I cannot. That is not happening. There's a couple different theories on this. I noticed in a very old video by Out of Darts, he mentioned that it seemed like the factories producing this ammo were pulling the rejected rounds and selling them under the same brand name in an attempt to just make money off of the extra munitions that they had produced. Because when these are manufactured in the factory, they go through a ton of them and they all get quality checked, and then the ones that are too soft or too hard get tossed. It's possible that those are making it to market now, which makes it very difficult to buy cheaper rival rounds. I have a feeling that what happened here is that pink is simply less popular, and so I got some higher quality ones as a result, and the green ones are down to the bad ones, perhaps. It's hard to say for sure, but I felt it was important to put this warning out there to not just go buy any high impact round that you see. They're not all the same. You do need to be somewhat careful. I would suggest, if you want a low cost option, that you stick to the Dart Zone and Xshot rounds. And finally, the last ammo type that is currently out on the market is Hyper. These little tiny rubber balls have caused quite a stir. They're significantly smaller than rival rounds. They're fired exclusively out of Hyper blasters. There's only 3 Hyper blasters on the market currently. Hyper has had sort of a mixed reception at best. One of the major issues with it is because they are so small, the rounds are very difficult to collect after a game. Despite the supposedly neon and actually somewhat fluorescent color, they're really difficult to find in grass. They fall down between the blades of grass and can be very difficult to find. If you're gonna buy Hyper ammo, you don't have an option. Currently, only Nerf is producing Hyper ammo. Nobody has come up with a follow-up. There are foam paintball rounds that are close in size, but they are not the same. There are people doing very cool things with those rounds, but they're not compatible with Hyper rounds. But beyond that, my real recommendation is, unless you have a specific place to go and play with a Hyper blaster, don't buy a Hyper blaster. You're going to be stuck using this ammo type. It shoots too hard to shoot indoors, and many outdoor fields have banned it for environmental concerns and for cleanup concerns. So generally speaking, I would skip this ammo type completely. So that's a pretty wide variety of things in one video, but I hope that that helps you out. I know that it can be tough when you have blasters lying around the house that no longer have ammo, especially specialty things like rockets, and you don't know where to go to get good replacements. If you found this helpful, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm making more videos like this, and I'm also going to be going through the winter doing a lot of modding and sharing a lot of fun projects. So I'd love to have you around for that. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the field.